Rat pudding.
Hi folks, it's Mark here. Just thought we'd have a bit of a retro ramble through the subject matter of joysticks. Joysticks, gamepads, button mashers, whatever you want to call them, they're pretty much fundamental to a player's enjoyment of video gaming. Just trust me on this one, you don't want to go searching for a slang term for a joystick, well, not at least on your works PC. Didn't think I was quite that naive. One way of going from a very innocent search to something very much not innocent. Just put that into your Google search bar and see what you come up with, but do it somewhere private. So let's take a look back at some of the choices that we had back in the day and what's available currently to enhance our gaming enjoyment. Now, I've produced a PDF booklet to go along with these that you can download, have a look at and print out. If you're a bit savvy with your printer, then you should be able to produce something like on screen at the moment. With it being a PDF, anything that I discuss in this I will include the websites to direct you to if should you find something of interest that you want to take a look at, and obviously there'll be a hyperlink. Those will be at the back page in the little black box on the corner there should you wish to take a further look. Now, where can I get a hold of this PDF? Dead easy. Hit up my mate Reese, who's got his Facebook group 10 Bears Retro, and if you have a look on there, you'll find in the file section the retro ramblings that I'm producing for this. Fantastic Facebook group, lots of really decent folk on there. Anything retro, it's not just gaming, so you know, your old Game & Watches, your old VHS, Betamax, anything retro related, 10 Bears Retro, take a look, well worth it. So, let's have a look then. Way back in 1983, I was 11 years of age, and I got a Spectrum 16K rubber key, and I thought it was wonderful. But it then provided me with something that I needed to fund, and back then you needed to be 13 years old to get a paper round. So I may have lied to the newsagents because I needed to fund this new Spectrum habit. Delivering papers 6 days a week provided me with a princely sum of £2.30, and that had to go a pretty long way. Buying games and blank tapes were pretty much a priority. So for me it was QAOP all the way. Those little rubber keys soon got very sweaty and slippery from my grubby little mitts as well. So joysticks had to be pretty cheap. Now memory tells me that even the cheapest ones were about a tenner back then, so that's a whole month's wages. So the likes of like the Competition Pro and the Zip Stick were far more expensive, and it's quite easy to figure out who the rich kids were when they were flaunting those things in your faces. So in these early days, the joysticks were manufactured pretty cheaply too, often utilising plastic components at the base of the joystick just to close simple contacts on pressure pads. Any amount of vigorous waggling would often result in the sound of this plastic base snapping, or the pressure pads just simply giving up the ghost. And yeah, Daley, Thompson, Decathlon and Hypersports, I'm looking directly at you for destroying many a cheap joystick. There followed an explosion of manufacturers seeking an emerging market in the home computer scene. After all, who didn't want the arcade experience at home? So you saw the likes of Quick Shot, Saytech, Competition Pro, Zipstick, Wico, Cheetah. Oh, you could go on for ages. The choices were huge. So the joystick internals also went through quite a change in various designs as well, from the simple like I say, the contacts mounts that were closed to leaf switches and my favorite micro switches. The only issue with the micro switch ones was the noise that they created, the clickety click, clickety click. Now you try having a gaming session as a young teenage boy in your bedroom at midnight with one of them things, and you got a banging on the wall or your bedroom door from your furious parent telling you to shut up and go to bed. We lived through a fantastic time where these manufacturers would, just see the mold that was created by the original Atari joystick and just throw it to the wall and smash it to pieces and come up with something completely different. I'm looking at things like the ones produced from Conix, the Speed King and the Navigator. Could never personally get used to the Navigator with its fire button below the base. You ended up with a trigger finger the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger would be proud of after using one of them things for an hour. And then we saw some really strange ones like this Quick Shot 7 Deluxe Joy Card Controller. What the chuffing else Deluxe about this damn thing? I'll never know. Bizarre, just completely bizarre. Okay, so that was then, and what's now? I'm glad to say that there's still very much a market for new joysticks and gamepads. If you've got a Spectrum Next and you've not heard of the wireless Mega Drive style pad from 8-bit do that, I'm not sure that we can be friends. These devices are great, function really well with the Next and feel exceptionally good quality too. Other manufacturers are producing good quality gaming products too, often using arcade quality parts. For instance, Steve Elmer from TR Retro makes some fantastic joysticks and button basher pads, ideal for a heavy session on Hypersports and saving your precious keyboards and more fragile older joysticks. With the Kickstarter 3 for the Spectrum Next, you had the option of a magenta case, so that's what I've got on order at the moment. When Steve released these magenta Specky Next themed joysticks, I had a little chat with him about personalising one for myself. And Chucky Egg is one of my favourite games, and so I thought, well, let's see if we can do something with Henhouse Harry on it. And we threw some ideas backwards and forwards, and we came up with the idea of Henhouse Harry at the top of the joystick with Maria from Jet Set Willy standing guard over one of his eggies. I love it. I think that sort of thing's brilliant. So I've purchased from Steve myself previously and can safely say he's a proper genuine gentleman, is more than happy to personalise his products just like this one. We've also got Monster Joysticks, who create joysticks for a variety of gaming machines. I went to them to purchase one for my TurboGrafx 16. These are really nice quality heavy duty beasts, and they produce joysticks for a number of machines like the Mega Drives, and these should in theory be fully compatible with your Next as well. I've also got an MSX, a couple of MSX machines, and the options for MSX joysticks are somewhat limited because they utilise the DB9 joystick plug, but however the wiring in them is not standard, so please do not plug in your wired Sega Mega Drive pad into an MSX machine. You will end up in tears. Okay, so there's a fella called Clive Froh from Pixel Memories, and he's based in the land down under, and if you're my age you have to sing that, you can't just say it. He's produced some really fantastic MSX joysticks, and this is one that I've got from him. It's a really sturdy piece of kit. Again, Clive was more than happy to accommodate my personalisation of his product, choosing my own colour scheme to match my MSX machine and the artwork that was used on the back, and putting the MSX logo on it and stuff like that. These are gorgeous devices and they play every bit as good as they look. He's also got a rather lovely looking Commodore 64 version. Now if you're waiting on a Kickstart 3 Specky Next, that's going to come with a Commodore 64 core in it, so that might be something that you want to take a look at as well. So it's took us 40 years when we've come a fair way, haven't we, from using your fingers slipping off the sweat-induced rubber keys of doom, which I think it was Jeff Minter that interred that term in one of his Commodore 64 games where you were attacked by specky keyboards, to folk now creating joystick bundles to your own personal liking using arcade quality parts. It might have taken us a few decades, but we're closer than ever to experiencing the real arcade experience at home. That's my little ramble for the day. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening, watching. Look after yourselves. Stay safe, folks. Thank you.